guys, here's what we're making today. The Karla by Lacus Patterns. Sylvia is the designer. This is an absolutely adorable pattern. You're going to want to go grab it. I'll link it, the description, or the link in the description below. You have a flap. You have kind of a unique sides. The bottom has top stitching. Easy. The D-rings are on the inside, so that's what that rivet is. They're sewn in, but the D-rings are there. You have a top handle. You have an adjustable crossbody. I used one of my slim thumb locks, which is perfect for this, but any thumb lock, even a twist lock would work. You open it up, and you have a top zipper closure. Love, love, love. And the way she does her zipper placket is a little different. I like it too. You open up the pocket or the zipper and you have a zipper pocket on the inside and two slip pockets on this side and tons of room. Absolutely tons of room. And the lining fits perfect. Oh dear. I love it. This one will be for sale on my website. I am going to make another. And I think I'm going to do it live because it's really not a hard bag. Now that I know all the steps, you know, it took me 2 or 3 days to do it only because I was taking care of the dogs and doing all kinds of other things. But it's not a hard sew. Like I say in the end, I think it's an advanced beginner intermediate. But with any bag, you can do it. Just take your time. I love it. The Karla by Lacus Patterns. Sylvia, you did great. Let's get started. Be sure to give a thumbs up. Hi everybody, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do a brand new pattern. It's called the Karla by Lacus Patterns. Let me see if there's anything in here about it. It's a fairly new pattern. I'm doing it out of vinyl, but she does it out of woven materials. There is a Facebook group, but the name of the designer is Lacus Facebook group and Sylvia. So thank you, Sylvia, for giving me the opportunity to do your bag. It's very cute. I'm doing mine out of vinyl, and I'm going to do a 2-tone strap, crossbody strap. So that's what we're going to start with. You'll see the finished product before this clip, but and I'm using black. I'll go over each of the materials as I do them, but I am doing black and a burgundy croc. Very pretty. So the strap is a 3/4 inch strap. Crossbody strap. It's a fairly small bag, so you could do a 1 inch, but I am doing a double-sided 3/4 inch strap. And I'm using this black. I honestly do not know where I got it. I've had it a very long time, and I'm trying to use up some of my stash. I know, I'd rather be using my Tulip Bee, but when I do bags for the first time, I try and use older materials just to make sure that, number one, I like it, number two, it's done correctly. What do you say about that? And that I don't make any big mistakes with expensive materials. Although I will say that almost all materials are not cheap anymore, so it probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But this I've had a long time, and I thought, you know what, I pulled this out and I thought, let's just use this. It's, gosh, I wish I knew where I got it. It's just a black vinyl with gray on the back. It's not particularly thick, but it's not thin either. So there's that. That's a good description. It's not particularly thick, but it's not thin either. Yeah. All right, so I got both those done, and now we're going to put them together. So I'm just putting a piece of 1/4 inch double-sided tape down the center so that when I get to put them together, they'll stay until I can sew them. And the bottom piece, this is no real big secret, is 1.5 inches. And the top piece, for contrast, I did 1 inch and about 1/4. That way the bottom shows through. So there is contrast. Let's get the paper off the tape. There we go. All right, so here is our top, and we're just going to lay that right on top. And there's not much showing through, so I must have done an inch, 1.5 inches, and I must have done just 1/8 smaller than that. And that's okay. Yeah, that's perfect actually. This crock. This is actually crock from Big Z. My friend Terry is, who lives in my neighborhood. She calls me the enabler. I'm just going to say, no, she is as well. Terry. She wanted a bunch of this, and I said, well, why don't, I wanted a piece of black something. So I said, why don't I order it? And you can just pay me, and I'll just take 1/2 yard of the red. So I basically got a 18-inch roll by, I think it's 60. And she got 1.5 yards, which is perfect. That's what she really wanted. And I said, that works out good. So we often buy together. That way we only have one shipping charge, you know. I mean, she's right down the street. That's the way to do it. If you have a friend who lives close by, just buy together. You know, shipping charges are not cheap anymore. What vendors pay, it's not cheap, unfortunately. All right, let me grab my hardware. I have a wide, I'm using gunmetal hardware, and I have a wide slider and 2 3/4 inch swivels. And then I do have some 3/4 inch strap-ins. Tony is feeding the dogs apple. They love apple. Adore apple. So do we. We have an apple every day. Tony and I have an apple every single day. I gotta sew this together first. What am I thinking? All right, let me put you down here so you can see. I think my camera got moved. Sorry. There we go. Okay, let's do it. And I'm using burgundy thread. If you haven't ever bought from Big Z, the nice thing, they sell their vinyls in full yards. So 36 by 60. I think it's 36 by 60 or 54. So you get a lot for the money. Yeah, their shipping charges are pretty steep because you're getting, you know, a full yard of this. And it's not lightweight. This is going to be so pretty. I am using strap-ins, so I am going to even off my little ends here, my straps. That looks so good. And the burgundy thread on there. Oh boy. Okay. Let's grab our slider and our two strap-ins. There's one. There's another one. Okay. Just burn my threads. That one's okay. All right, so I got that, and I just put a ribbon on there. I haven't snapped it yet, but we'll go do that. Put my slider, swivel clasp, I should say, on. And we're going to go up. Make sure I don't have anything twisted up and through. Now, I love doing strap-ins, but sometimes some materials are just really, really thick. Like these two are really thick, and so I had to really manipulate it. In fact, I'm going to go press it, so I'll be right back. All right, so I did my strap. This ostrich croc and the black together is very thick. So I had a hard time getting my strap-ends on, but it worked fine, and it's done. Okay, so now we are going to take our two main panels and put those right sides together and stitch across the center. Doesn't look like I did a very good job cutting that out. That's bad, boy. Okay. At the seam allowance in the pattern. All right. And we're gonna turn those. And I'm gonna put some double-sided tape along here because we're gonna turn it and top stitch on either side of the seam. Just to keep it nice and flat while I top stitch. Totally not necessary, but I prefer to do it this way. It just helps things stay where you want them. Just while you get it done. Sometimes I don't do it because, you know, you end up using a fair amount of double-sided tape. And your needles can get sticky and all of that. So now let's turn it and top stitch on either side. 1/8 of an inch. The burgundy with this black is so pretty. All right. Can you see that? How pretty that looks? All right, now we're going to take our little sides, and before I do that, I am going to put my interfacing on, so hold on a second. All right, so I did put my fleece on, both my little side pieces and my two main panels that I sewed together, and now we're just going to clip our side panels all the way around. This will be interesting. This will be very interesting. I may need to clip them. So remember, if you're going to clip, you always clip the straight edge. So we will see if that's necessary. Not so far. It fits pretty good so far. This actually, I'm just thinking about my materials. This would be a great bag for cork. I am going to just clip this gusset just a tiny bit here. It's actually my main panel. So I can spread that out. Oh yeah, that did the trick. Just a few tiny little clips. All right, I might do it down here too. Yeah, just those few little clips right on this sharp curve make all the difference. All right. Let's sew it at the seam allowance in the pattern. I think I might do this twice, and I might just do an 8 just to get it together, and then come back and do the full seam allowance. I think I will. Let me put you down here so you can see better. There you go. Yeah, I don't often do this, but on this one, I would recommend doing the 8th first, just to baste it on there, and then come back and do the full seam allowance. Yeah. Definitely. It's not hard. Okay, let's see. So we caught it all the way around. Oh my goodness. Not one little pucker either. Right now we're going to go and I'm going to do the full seam allowance. Much easier to do it this way, guys. Trust me. All right. Just maneuver it at these corners, this curve. There you go. Not hard, really. Okay, that was actually better than I anticipated. Basting it in place first, a must. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look how cute that looks. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, guys, it's a new day, and we have our little outside piece, and we're going to turn it right side out so we can see how it looks. I haven't done it. I didn't do it. I was waiting for the new day. There shouldn't be any puckers. I did peek in there to see if there were any puckers. Let's see. No puckers. No puckers. On that side. And no puckers on this side. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest little bag. I love it. Now, there's a little wrinkles there, but I think... So, yeah. I mean, I'll just steam that and that'll be fine. But look at that. Look how cute that is. I love it. All right, so set that aside. And we're going to do the flap, and I'm doing the outside in vinyl and the inside in the lining, uninterfaced for the lining. We're going to sew 3 sides and turn it. And then she gives you 2 options for the strap connectors. I'm trying to decide which one I do. If I do the hidden connectors, which I love hidden connectors. And hidden connectors are not hard. I used to be very intimidated by them, but I've gotten much more comfortable with them. So, let me see what the seam allowance is here. Seam allowance. Okay, it's not a big seam allowance, so just keep that in mind. Let me look at my stitch length. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. I'm going to leave this top straight open. Don't mix your clips, or it's very disturbing. Okay. I don't like to mix clips, I will say. Now I am using a thumb lock, one of my slim thumb locks. So I may need to add a little more interfacing down there. I'm going to test that before we do too much else. And I am going to trim this up here just a little in my corners so I can get some really nice corners. So I think it'll be okay. Let me grab my thumb lock. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and turn it. I'm actually going to add an extra piece before I turn it because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it. It doesn't need to be much. I'm going to cut 2 pieces just in case. And I'm going to put them on with some double-sided tape. And I gotta find my center. And I find my center here because I need to know where to put these extra pieces. Honestly. So right there. I think I'm going to need both of them. You can always add more, and you can take them away. Okay, let's turn it right side out, and then we'll know. So this lining I felt was the best lining that goes with this burgundy. Look at that, isn't that pretty? This is Big Z vinyl, croc ostrich vinyl. And then this is from Sam Fabric Creations. The lining. Let me see. That is perfect. 2 little pieces of Decaville Heavy. Did the trick. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is get all my stuff out of my way. And we're going to top stitch. My doggies are whining. Gosh, how pretty that is. Let me go check on my puppies. Hold on. All right, let's top stitch. I'm not going to close the top until I get my thumb lock on, just to be sure. Okay. My, nice. All right. The next thing we're gonna do. Oops, hold on a second. All right, so I'm doing the 2 D-ring tabs. This is just a 1.5 inch. So I'm gonna use 3/4 inch. I gotta go get some 3/4 inch D-rings. Actually, yeah, this is 2. So, oh no, these are the, this is for the square rings. So I need 3/4 inch square rings. I don't know why. I got 1 inch hardware for everything. So I'll go do that, but let me stitch this. This is both of them. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this in half. And I need to get interestingly, she uses lining fabric for the square rings. I'm not comfortable doing that, so I'm going to go and actually cut another piece of fabric for the D-ring tabs. I'm going to cut this out of the vinyl. So I'm going to recut those. So I'll be right back. All right, I did decide to do the 3/4 inch. I think I must have messed it up because she does talk about 3/4 inch. I don't know what I was doing. So the handle is also 3/4. So I'm going to do my handle next. And it ends up being 4 layers. So choose your vinyl or your fabric wisely. You fold it into the center and then you fold it again. And when you do that, just like handles, you want to leave a little opening there in the center so that when you fold it over, it has a place to fold. Otherwise, it gets kind of bulky there and you don't want that. Okay. So now we're going to stitch all the way around that. And let me see. Yeah, let's stitch all the way around. Oops. My top thread came out. Okay, let's do it all the way around. This red on black is just stunning, I will say. All right, so there's the handle. Oh gosh, look how pretty that looks. It is just so pretty. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and do these, and I did put a piece of Decaville heavy in between. Probably not necessary, but again, I'd rather go a little over on handle connectors and that kind of thing. You don't want those coming out. So we're going to stitch with 2 of these. These are also 3/4 inch. Alrighty, here's one. And here's my other one. So I did go get some D-rings that are 3/4 inch and square rings that are 3/4 inch. I sell on my website. All right, perfect. there's those two. Now, let me see where this goes. So the hidden connectors for this, I'm actually going to go ahead and put on my, I'm going to put on my thumb lock there. That way but if I close that up, I want to make sure that I have enough stuff in there. Which I think I do, but no, see, it's not quite enough now that I top stitch that. Yeah. So I'm going to put down in there another piece of Decaville Heavy. And I'm just going to fold this over, and we're going to stick that down right where that center mark is, and see. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let me find my center here on this side too. I'm going to grab some glue. Dangerous Loctite, and my screws. Okay, so we're going to put that right in the center there. And that's an antique brass screw, so I don't want that. I'm going to find me some black screws. There we go. Alright, so I got my screw ready. And I'm just going to put a dab. I know, let me get my... I'm such a mess when it comes to glue. I always have to have a towel ready to go. Just a tiny little dab. Okay. And let's screw that on. There's one. And I got a little extra glue there. Let's wipe that off before I get it all over May. And let's tighten these up. Oh my gosh. Perfect. How does that look? That is perfect. Okay, now we can move on. Let me get everything out of the way. And there is a certain measurement. Oh dear, here, let me clean this up. There we go. So there's a certain measurement she wants you to use down and in from the top and side. So let's measure it. And that's where the side begins. So right there. I'm just okay. Right there. Okay. So I think I'm not going to do the hidden connectors. I changed my mind yet again. we are just going to add these right here. And I'm going to put a little piece of tape in the center here. And we're going to measure down a certain distance. Where's my ruler? Okay. I'm going to put the square ring on. And then we're going to fold that down in both sides, just like that. Yeah. Let me pull that up just a hair. There we go. So you have the raw edge there in the center, and that's what your connector is going to look like. So let's do this other one. A little piece of tape. Oh dear. Tape on the floor. Add your square ring. Take your tape off. I'm going to fold down to that line. And then fold it up. And I'm going to put these on with rivets. I just want to make sure they're the same size. And yes, they are. Okay. So this is where they're going to go, right there. Man, that seems, let me see. I'm just making sure that it looks good. Hold on. So if I put that there, then I bring this up. Oops, hold on. All right, I forgot to start recording. So I already added the thumb lock and the two square ring connectors. She gives you how far down and how far in on each side, and I just attach them with two rivets. Let me see what you can see. Let me put it down here. Two rivets on either side. It's perfect. So now I am going to add the handle and add some more rivets. So the handle will go like this. And I'll just do two more rivets. Let me add a clip. Yep. Just like that. Isn't that going to be cute? Oh my goodness. All right, let's put the rivets here. One here. And here. One here. And there. Okay. So I'm going to have to use my punch for these, which is fine. Because since I sharpened it, it is like fabulous. I don't really like using this anymore. I'll be honest. I'd much rather pound my little holes. And let me put this one in. It's cumbersome for me. Isn't that funny? I don't really know why, but it is. Okay, let's do this other one, and then we'll go press those. Okay. Tony's out there talking to the dogs. It's so funny. Okay, I'm trying to get them nice and even. Right there. One. And these are not, I'm not using the long rivets for this. I'm just using regular 9mm, 10mm rivets. You don't really need the long for this vinyl. Okay. And I will go press those. Cute, 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 cute. All right, be right back. All right, so now we're going to take our main piece and we're going to add this flap to the back, centered. And we're going to baste it on. And I'm using my little stronger clips because as the moment is, the flap is heavier than the bag. And it fits perfectly, I will say. Okay. Love it. All right, let's sew that on. Just baste it on. Oop, needle's way down there. Here we go. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not catching anything else. Perfect. All right. Cute. All right, so here we go, guys. This is what it's going to look like. Can you see it? Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Oh dear. All right, next step. All right, so we had our D-rings. I'm just going to put the D-ring on and baste them across the bottom. So they stay put. And don't move around. Okay. So there's our two D-rings. Cute, 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 cute. Now we're going to do our slip pocket. So that's just the piece folded right sides together, and we're going to sew down the sides. And I just ran out of bobbin. No worries. Oh, no I didn't. No I didn't. It got cut for some reason. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Let's try that again. All right. Happens. Thumper doesn't really like the thinner fabrics without interfacing, so I'm sure that's what he's balking at a little bit. No worries. We'll get it through it. Okay. Then we're going to trim these corners down here on the bottom so we can get nice corners. And then I do have a piece for the trim. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's stitch across the top, 1/8 of an inch, just to keep it closed. And then let me grab my trim piece. Here it is. And I'm just using the red crock. Divide it down the middle. Tape on either side. Oops. Fold that over. And we'll top stitch. Oh, that looks so pretty. I think I'll do another row just for fun. Let's do another one. Okay, then we'll cut off the excess on each side. And our slip pocket is done. Let's see where she wants us to put it. Place the pocket on one of the lining pieces. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me find the center. And find the center. That's a pocket. All right. A certain distance from the top. I'll use some sew tights. Then we're going to sew that on 3 sides. Beautiful. Yeah, I think I am going to divide this pocket. You can leave it one full pocket if you chose to. I think I'm going to divide it so that I have a small little pen pocket of some kind, or for a chapstick or lipstick or something like that. So I think I'm just going to go over 2.5 inches from the side. Yeah. And we're going to do that from the bottom up. So just enough for a couple pens or a lipstick, something small. Okay. Perfect. Let me burn these little threads. All right, there we have that. Now we're going to do the zipper pocket. So next step. I am doing an overlay, and I'm going to do it on the other side of one of the main panels, opposite the slip pocket. And I'm doing it 2 inches down from the top. I'm guessing because she has a measurement for a little turned zipper pocket, and I just prefer overlays. Okay, so centered. And we're going to stitch around the outside. Let's cut the hole open. Perfect. Oh, that looks so good. All right, here's my zipper pocket. So we're going to do that just like we do most of my zippers. I'm going to cut my zipper just a little longer. I'm going to cut this off. And we're going to add that right side up on our zipper, and I'm just going to hold it rather than tape it. Famous last words. Now, I could iron this, but I'm going to do what I normally do and stitch it flat. Okay, so turn it over, wrong side of the lining up, and stitch that nice and flat. All right. Now we're going to take it to the other side, matching this top and the side seam. And repeat that process. Now, I am going to cut this in two. This isn't going to be a huge pocket. It's a little wide, but it's not very deep, which is fine. Okay. And we're going to fold that and base that side nice and flat. All right, let's put my zipper pull on. And I want it, let's see. Yeah, I want it going this way. I want the larger portion of my zipper lining on the top. And I just put this on backwards. That's funny. Bob. So I want my zipper going left to right. There we go. So the larger portion of my zipper pocket is on the top. So now I am going to use some double-sided tape. And we'll add that in our zipper overlay. Okay. One side at a time. And we'll stitch around the inside. Really helps to have your zipper feet on. I just leave mine on almost all the time now. Perfect. Let me burn those threads just a little bit. Then we're going to pull that top down. Even it up just a little. And I gotta look and see. I'm pretty sure we closed this zipper pocket because I think it's a drop-in, but we'll find out here in a second. Okay, let me check. Hold on. All right, so we do just do the sides and leave the bottom open. Okay. Then we'll trim off our excess zipper tape. All right. Oh my gosh, that looks so nice. Next step. All right, so let me put it down here. We're gonna sew our linings together. Just make sure your zipper pocket is going up and your slip pocket isn't. We're gonna sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. This is a very cute pattern, really. I like it. Okay, then we're going to open that seam, just like we did on the outside, and top stitch. Okay. All right, let's top stitch on either side. My needle's getting kind of goopy. I'm gonna have to clean that up. All right. Beautiful. So that's what you have. Love it. All right, so we are going to add the side panels now. Right sides together. Just like we did the outsides. All right, so we're going to do our 90-degree turn. I haven't added my zipper pull yet. We're going to baste our little zippers straight down, just like she has in the pattern. All right. I gotta go check on the puppies. Okay, let's add our zipper pull. Whoops, I didn't get a thread cut. There we go. And then if you have any excess where you've turned those over, just trim those off and burn the zipper tape so it's flush. Okay, perfect. So just like that. Now, let me get my other pieces ready. All right, so take now your zipper lining pieces, put 2 of them together, right sides together, and we're going to sew along this edge at the seam allowance in the pattern. This is, I've never done it this way. I like it. So far. And I'm just going to do it a little chain stitch here. Okay. Then on the opposite ends, we're going to fold those down by what she tells you to in the pattern. Very interesting. On the opposite unsewn edges. Huh. Okay. I don't know, have you guys ever done it this way? I don't think I have. I've done it similar, but I've never sewn 2 zipper panels together. Now, these are both lining panels, by the way, too. All of it is lining. Okay. Open the seam and insert the zipper. So just like this. Here's my zipper. And you're going to place it right side down here, just like this. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to put some tape on here. I think Sandy at Car Threads does it this way. Okay, and then we're going to add that right there. It's similar. It's not exactly this way. Okay, then we're going to add another little piece of tape and sandwich our zipper. and fold that down on top of the zipper. Oh my gosh, I like it. And then we're going to sew that together at the normal zipper seam allowance. Amazing, actually. Let's see what she says. Now these are just slightly off, so I'm going to unfold it and make them nice and even. Okay. This is a great way to do it, I have to say. And then we're going to trim this. And because I trimmed that, I'm going to just put another little stitch there. And then you fold it out. Now, this is 2 lining pieces, but I don't know why you couldn't do it with one exterior and 1 lining. Just like most of our zippers, really. I am going to trim just like I've been doing lately, trimming this piece. This is lining, so it's not as critical. If I had vinyl there, I would probably do it, make sure I did it, but okay, hold on. All right, so we're going to top stitch this just like any other zipper. We're going to start on the raw edge and baste all the way around. I like this method. I can honestly say I've never done it this way. I like it though. It's just a different way of ending with the same result, which is actually nice. All right, we're going to repeat that on the other side. Now, we need to find, just like normal, we need to find the center of our zipper placket. So just put it together and clip your center on both sides. Okay. And we're going to add that to our lining, centered with the zipper right side up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to separate my zipper and add it to the other side. Because we have some lining top contrast. It's actually just more lining. Okay. And we're going to baste those in place. What happened? Oh, I ran out of bobbin. Interesting. Okay, let's do that again. Happens. Okay. I thought I had changed my bobbin earlier, but I didn't, did I? I just fixed it. All right, let's put this back on there. That is funny, bulb. Okay, let's try that again. Now that I have bobbin. It's amazing how that works. Alright, that's the way it's supposed to work. Alright, let's do it the other side. Sylvia, this is an absolutely adorable pattern. Okay, I'm going to do another one. Alright. So there is our lining with the zipper pocket. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. I'm going to pull this down and just clip my... Very cute. Very, very, very cute. All right, next up. All right, so we're going to do our top band, and you use these two little side pieces and stitch those on at the seam allowance in the pattern. On both sides, and then we'll add the other long piece. Just make sure it's all going the same way. She has a good description in the pattern for it. I just vacuumed in here, so I'm trying to keep things off the floor. Not very successfully. All right, here's your other long piece. And we're going to add that. Again, we're just making sure that we're adding it the same way. Because one side will end up being wider than the other. That's what she says. Okay. Let me pull up the pattern here. All right, so this is what you have. Very interesting. So the top part of the lining section, the bottom is wider. Okay, let me read this. Hold on. All right, so the bottom is wider. So I don't know if you're going to be able to really tell, but this bottom piece on the bottom here is wider. That is what's going to be attached to our lining piece. I'm just going to clip my zipper out of the way. Okay. Interesting. Let me make sure. You'll be able to tell because it won't fit. Yeah. You can tell by this is the wider piece, the side piece that's got the longer side. So I'm going to nestle my seams on the sides. Then we're going to open that up and we're going to top stitch on the lining with your D-rings going up. Okay, so I'm just going to start on the side. That seam allowance underneath. All right, so we're going to take our exterior with our flap and put it inside the lining, and I have my zipper pocket in the back. Oh, you know what? I need to, yeah, I'm going to put it in there, and then I got to put the other part of my thumb lock on before I sew this together. We just have to squish it all in there. Actually, no, I'm going to put the other part of my thumb lock on now. Barb, what are you thinking? Let me pull my pattern piece up here and see if there is a spot. Main panel. No, she doesn't have a spot for the other part of the thumb lock marked on the pattern piece. So we're going to just kind of guess where I want it to be. Let me grab it. And we're just going to put our flap down, make sure it's nice and centered. And mark for it. I don't want my flap to be too tight, but oh dear. Doggies are. There you go. So I just put a mark on my front, and now before I do anything, I'm going to make sure that's centered, the mark that I made. That's one thing you don't want to have happen. Oh my gosh, it's perfectly centered. How is that even possible? You know what I'm going to do? When I get this on, I'm going to mark it and write down where I put my thumb lock. Because I will be making this bag again. It's so very cute. Be easier. Okay. Easier to mark and do it for future reference. All right. I do need to get a piece of Decaville. To put behind there. Cut our holes. And cut our holes here. And make sure you test how your thumb lock goes. The round portion up here goes on the top. Always test. Okay. Put our little piece of Decaville here. I only have fleece on this bag. That's one thing I probably will change for the next one, is what I use for interfacing. We'll see. You never know until you get it completely done what you're going to like or not like. Make sure it's nice and flush. Perfect. And then we'll add a tiny piece of lace over that. Just to protect our lining. Okay. So let's test it. Let's make sure it looks how we want it. Oh my. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, this might be my new bag. I know, don't say it. That's it. All right, now we're going to put that down inside. Now we're ready. The zipper pocket will be in the back. And this is going to be a lot of squishing. And I already know it. And that's okay. Make sure your flap is down in there. And then we're just going to clip all our corners. And then fill in the rest. She does account in her pattern pieces. She does account for a smaller lining, which is really nice, actually. All right, let's do it on my Thor. Holding my threads. And I'm actually gonna do my, excuse me. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Then we'll turn it and top stitch. Sorry, I got a tip on my throat. Take your time. This is not a visible stitch, but if it's crooked, you'll be able to tell. So you don't want to have a crooked stitch. All right, let's see how we did. I dropped the clip down here. I have to get it because I'll step on it and crack it. And that just won't be any good. All right. That actually looks very good. Now, I'm not going to trim that because I want it to be under my seam. I'm going to open my zipper. If you forgot to open your zipper, this is going to be a challenge, I think, actually. Let's see. You guys, that wasn't bad. I'm actually surprised how easy that was. It was not bad at all. All right, before I close up my zipper pocket, I'm going to do the top stitching. I find it a good idea to do that, because if for some reason you need to get in there, then you still have that open. Oh gosh, this is going to be so cute. Now we're going to fold that top lining down in there and just clip all the way around to make sure it's pulled out nicely. This is so cute, Sylvia. Thank you for letting me do your pattern. This is so cute. I'm thinking already of my next one. This is adorable. I know I'm kind of gushing at it because it's very different, number one. And it's very cute. It's a good size. It's not small. It's not huge. It's kind of a medium, I'd say. Not big. It's not really quite medium. Well, yeah, it might be medium. I'll see. You know, you don't really know until a bag is finished how much you can actually get in it. So this part right here is probably going to be the biggest challenge, going around the flap and getting it all nice and straight. That's going to be the biggest challenge. We'll see. So, because you can't clip it. Now, I could have put a piece of tape in there, I suppose. But I think it'll be fine. We're just going to go slow. And it fits really good, too. Now, I'm going to start on the back side over here. Let me get over here. Find my other thread. Oh, please. Yeah, I'm going to start on the side. There we go. All right, let's do it. Hold my threads really good. We don't need any additional issues. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pull that thread to the inside. Probably don't need to, but it is a contrasting. Let me get rid of my table. Make sure all your parts and everything are out of your way, like your little D-ring. And your zipper pocket. So far, so good. right, I'm getting to my flat back here, so I'm just going to pull things a little and take my time. I mean, really, that is not hard to do. We'll see how it looks. I'm going to pull that thread to the inside. If I can find it. There we go. That was not hard to do. We'll see how it looks. That'll be the kicker. Oh my gosh, you guys, it looks good. I'm just trying to find my thread. Okay, so I got all 4 of my threads. Let's even them up. Tie those off. You guys are going to want to do this bag. It is so cute. And it's not hard. Every time I do a new bag, it takes me a long time. I was commenting to Tony this morning. I'm like, this bag is taking me forever. But it's just because it's the first time. And whenever I do a bag for the first time, I really try my best to read through the directions so I don't miss anything. Okay. Let's see how it looks. How we do? I'm just looking at the top stitching basically. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. That's a perfect top stitch. Oh my gosh, you guys. Let me see how the flap looks. Oh my gosh. Guys. Look at the top stitching. I'm going to go over there to finish up and get you a closer look. All right, I realized I'd have to rethread the fabricator, so let me just finish the pocket here. And then we'll go over there. I'm just finishing my turning hole. Very cute bag. This would actually be a great bag out of cork. I haven't done a cork bag in a while, but this would be a good one. Okay, let's just sew this up. I'm using my little measure and cut trash can over here for my clips. It's perfect. Okay, so that's all the sewing we need to do. Oh, I gotta put my strap in. So we'll do that over there. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so the other thing I forgot to do is put these rivets on to hold your D-ring in place. So I already put that one on, and all I'm doing is getting in here and making sure that I'm nice and centered as I can be. Specifically on the outside. And I'm not going through any of my top stitching. You don't want to do that. This is actually a pretty important step to make sure that your D-ring stays and is not pulling your lining. Oops, I just dropped my rivet cap in there. Perfect. All right, I put my zipper end on. Let me go press these rivets and I'll be right back and we'll look at the whole bag. Here it is, guys. The Karla by Lacus Patterns. This is the cutest little bag. It's got a top handle. It's got a crossbody strap. Oh my gosh. And look, I mean, it's just absolutely adorable. It's just, you know, until you make a bag for the first time, you really don't know. Cute top handle. I used one of my slim thumb locks, which is perfect for this bag. I did a double-sided strap, adjustable crossbody strap, 3/4 inch, which is, again, perfect for this bag. There's the back. The top stitching turned out perfectly. It's not hard at all. I was kind of surprised. Your D-rings are on the inside here, and that's what these rivets are for on each side. And then you have a zipper closure. You open the zipper and you have a zipper pocket on the back and a slip pocket. I put 2 slip pockets on the front and tons of room. This is absolutely adorable. It is the perfect size for me for every day. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And these sides are not hard at all. It's actually a fairly, I don't know what she calls it. Let me see. Let me see if she tells you what she thinks is, whether it's intermediate or it doesn't really say. I would probably call it an advanced beginner to an intermediate, and only because of the sides. That's probably the only reason I would call it advanced beginner or intermediate, because everything else is pretty standard. The Karla by Lacus Patterns. Sylvia, you did amazing. The link is in the description below to go grab the pattern. Oh my goodness. Very unique. It's not a sling bag, although you can wear it as a crossbody. Oh my gosh. I actually really like this bag. I do. I'm going to be making another one. Look at my hair, you guys. I just got out of the shower and my hair's all wet. Man. The only thing I'd do different is I'd put my rivets down a little further and add a strap end there, just for another little finished look. It's not a big deal, but I would do that next time. This one will be for sale. I hate to say it, but I'm going to do another one, and I'll do it in leather. So this one will be for sale on my website. It's absolutely adorable. So a couple new techniques. The zipper, how we did the zipper placket is different. This is really not a new technique, but it's not hard. I like having the D-rings on the inside and sewn in, but then attached with a rivet. Very cute. All right, I've talked and gushed enough about it. Sylvia, you did good. Thanks for watching. Be sure and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. See you soon.